Coming to you live from the rinks in Hauppauge, you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan, Wally Mitchell, going to be taking you through the second of three tonight on this chilly Friday evening. Rainy and windy, very windy throughout the earlier parts of the day. However, none of those effects felt here inside the rinks of Hauppauge. St. Anthony JV Gold going to be taking on Smithtown JV Blue as the two schools, or groups of schools that split up their JV teams, square up against each other. However, it's been a tale of two different seasons for these two. St. Anthony JV Gold 8-4 on the year. They are coming off a 4-2 win against SCHSHL after they lost 2-1 to their schoolmates in St. Anthony JV Black. A game in which I thought JV Gold played better personally than JV Black. JV Black just getting the timely goals there. As for Smithtown Hauppauge JV Blue, coming off 3 consecutive losses. However, those losses by 4 goals or less in each affair. A 3-goal loss to KPC, 6-3. 4-goal loss to East Islip. And 4-2 loss against West Islip back on November the 26th. This game will be the final game before the holiday break for the Bulls, the Blue Bulls, and same could be said for St. Anthony JV Gold, as their next matchup a couple of weeks into 2026. That's right, folks. It's already here. Just less than a month away. Matter of fact, only a week or two away is the new year, as is the All-Star game. The JV All-Star game, I believe, will be called by yours truly, Ryan Brannigan. The Varsity All-Star game will be consistent of 4 teams, one of which I'll have the responsibility of drafting. Branny's Biggins. We're looking to take it, of course. Come on. Me and my buddy Johnny. But Brady Campbell, Gabe Curry, and Kevin Broderick linking up, as well as Paul Trentini and Travis Quigley. Each of them will be drafting teams in that All-Star fair. But the JV All-Star game, that's probably what we care more so about. Coming up very soon, as we are fast approaching the end of the season, as we're only a few months away. The last game of the year for St. Anthony JV Gold, March the 2nd. It'll be here before you know it. March the 1st is when Smithtown Hauppauge JV Blue wrap up their season. Whose leading scorer is Matthew Benstock. Benstock, 7 goals, 4 assists, 11 points on the campaign in 9 games played. Jake Hayes leads the team in goals with 8. Unfortunately, Hayes suffered what appeared to be a serious lower body injury after taking an awkward hit into the boards. We send the best to Jake Hayes. Benstock 7 is second. Second on the team in points, Ryan Light, 9 in 12 games played for Light. Evan Miller will get the start in between the pipes. He has been the Bulls' best goaltender statistically and through the eye test. Has one of their 2 wins on the year. Fusco has the other. And for Evan Miller, a .425 goals against average, the best amongst the Smithtown Hauppauge Bulls. Other side of the ice for St. Anthony JV Gold. Again, what can you say? Another great season for the Friars, led by Liam Becker, but it is the epitome of team effort. Becker with 12 points, got Chero with 11, Engelhardt 11, 10 for Hurlburt, 10 for Matuza. In 7 games, best point per game player there is Mr. Matuza. So let's get our score bug in. Look like we're close to getting ready to drop the puck here tonight. Gasparic with 8, DeAndrea with 8, Gatazone 9, Vaith 10. It is up and down a no weakness on this St. Anthony JV Gold roster, and that extends to between the pipes with Cecchino and Frankaitis. It'll be Frankaitis getting the nod. I don't think that's accurate. No, it's number 33, 33 in between the pipes for St. A's. And I believe that's Frankaitis listed as 41. Well, we'll get to the bottom of it as Benstock takes it away. Here comes Matthew Benstock up the left wing side, challenged from behind by Gasparic. And the puck rolls on to the stick of Leighton Vaith. Not out of the zone, rolls on to the Friar goaltender, who covers up to make the stop. I might defer to the starter listed as Frankaitis, number 41, and just say he's got the wrong jersey. Play resumes off the draw. Pad save made by Frankaitis. Turnover. Light walks, thwarted from the middle. These two teams played each other once already this season. 6-0 shutout victory for the Friars. The second game of the season for the Smithtown Hauppauge Bulls. As Catazone shot toward the front of the net, redirected to the near corner by Finn Howard, who's knocked down on the play by Muller. Here's Catazone with Matuza. Catazone, sharp angle try. Ricochets on back to Coletti, whose shot kicked away by Miller. Miller, the LI goal. As Muller, 2-on-1 with Matuza, takes the shot, save made by Miller. And Sean Prizant, the lone defender, back that time. Prizant, heavy shot on the back end, one of the taller players you'll find in the JV level, was so as well in the freshman a season ago. As here's Gasparic, wrist shot kicked out by Miller. Pajak can't clear, rather that's Kozak, and Prizant will help it the rest of the way. Backhands ahead for Kozak. It's in the skates of Jarrett. Jarrett prevails. Jarrett on the backhand, save made. Frankaitis rebound into the far corner where Prizant, the second, buries behind. Campese battling Vaith. Doesn't know where it is in his feet. Out in front. One-timer from Jarrett wouldn't go. And the Friars look to break out by Leighton Vaith. Sean Prizant the second. Left it behind him. Here's Vaith. Backhands in front. Unbelievable save. Oh my, Evan Miller. Another shot on the backhand. That's stopped by Miller. And he will hang on to it. But holy guacamole, let's get a look at this goalie. And Evan Miller going post to post, robbing Engelhart of what would have been his 8th of the season. A face-off to the right of the aforementioned Smithtown Hauppauge goalie. Comes to Matuza. Matuza barreling through the defense. Turnaround shot blocked. Prizant the second. Takes it to the near boards. Here's Cooper Ferrara's shot stopped by Miller. And Ferraro, John, for Smithtown Hauppauge has the puck. They can't clear. Matuza keeps it alive along the boards. Battling Prizant, and Juarbi swept it to the line, not out. Good keep by Catazone, who scores! What a goal for Anthony Catazone, his 7th of the season for the Friar defenseman. Opens the scoring here tonight. Shot that beats Miller, high blocker. It's gonna fool him, I think, by taking a deflection off of Rao. And how about that for Catazone? Takes the hit, but gets the goal. 1-0 Friars. Leighton Vaith, Across to his partner Gasparic. Flipped on ahead. Intercepted by Pajak and backhanded ahead, but taken right back by Morabito. Adriana Morabito carried it in. Back out of the zone it comes to Gasparic. Griffin decides to drop back. Rink wide pass connecting with Liam Becker, but good step up from Jarrett. And Jarrett supporting his forwards. Briefly tapped it into the zone. Toe drag from Gasparic. Rolls onto the stick of Muller, who takes it to the backhand. Muller trying to go back to the blue line, low to high, and comes all the way out. Hurlburt. Backhanded on goal. Save made Miller. Miller denying Muller. Held in by Vaith. Vaith escaping the pressure. Gets the pass from Gasparic. Far circle shot over the net. Held in near side by Muller. And Vaith's momentum carries him out of the zone. Nearly right into Benstock awaiting him. And a good stick lift by Ferraro. Gets the puck away from Leighton Vaith. Ahead for Light. Light to Benstock. Benstock Ferraro. Ferraro had it poked away by Gasparic. Pajak held in at the far blue. Gavin Pajak steps up, but away comes Gasparic. Fighting back to the puck. Good recovery there for Gavin Pajak. As goal scorer Catazone can't hold in, comes on back for Becker. Becker to Gasparic. Gasparic to Catazone. Catches it on the backhand. And Catazone flips toward Miller. Makes the stop with his glove. Prizgen showing off the dangles. Accelerating up the middle of the ice. Had it poked away from him. Now odd man rush for St. A's. The backhand, forehand, save made Miller on Ferrara. Great move from Cooper Ferrara. An off balance save made by Evan Miller. Catazone pinches in. Carries it in deep, does Anthony Catazone. Now backhands the shot. DeAndrea and a cross diving back, couldn't get it. It's in the back of the net. The Friars double their lead. A no-doubter. It came across the ice. Like Jake DeAndrea was involved. And Matuza, I believe, is going to get the goal. Here's the shot from DeAndrea. It deflects. And what are you going to do about that one if you're Miller? Prizgen, the closest bull in the area. It is 2-0 St. A's. Matuza, if it's him, and I believe it is, his 6th of the season for Jason Matuza. And now he gives off to Muller. Muller a drive, save made, rebound. Desperately cleared out from in front. A logjam out in front as Ventura carries in on behalf of Smithtown Hauppauge. Knocked from his stick. Taken right back the other way. Ventura with Jarrett down the left boards. Also known as the far boards. Friars to right back in. It's Matuza. Dragging Matuza around Rao. With shot, he scores! Jason Matuza would not be denied. 3-0 Friars. The drag. Try to poke it between the legs. Reach back for it. Spinning top shelf. Jason Matuza. How do you do? Second of the game. And 7th of the year, I believe. For Matuza, yes. See now. Has 12 points as well. Light. Had it poked from him, and quickly, after a good start in the opening 5 minutes or so for Smithtown Hauppauge, St. Anthony have taken a commanding 3-0 lead. Schechter down the far boards, cut off by Pajak, rips it right back onto the stick of Schechter. Schechter's pass blocked, takes the shot, blocked away by Miller. Vaith. Try to go to Engelhardt, had to catch it on the skate, and Howard chips it out. Hurlburt takes it away, speeds right back in, and rescued from in front once more by Howard. Howard's pass to Ferraro, off the stick of Vaith, right back come the Friars. Kick save made with the right pad by Miller. Calling for it, Gasparik. DeAndrea finally able to sweep it in his direction. Gasparik activates to the backhand. Had his stick lifted by Benstock. Good defensive play by Matthew Benstock. Gasparik, good pass. Wide open was Becker. Missed the net wide. Gasparik checked by Benstock. Puck available right in front of the Bull bench. Poke to the line, not out. Held in again by Gasparik, who has it on the backhand. Gasparik checked to the boards by Light. Pass comes out in front and again in the feet. This time in the feet of Engelhardt as the Friars working it around the zone. Sheer territorial dominance. Ferraro trying to put an end to it. Knocked it off the stick to the line and again not out. Liam Becker holds in. Hands off to Leighton Vaith, who wraps around. Pajak first on it. Pajak knocked to the ground and desperately in need of a whistle, and getting one here are the Bulls with the cover up from Evan Miller. 5:19 left here in the first period. It's all Friars. They lead 3-0. So it will be their 13th game played, and a win tonight will put them level with West Islip. 18 points on the year, both teams 9-4. An overtime win for St. A's, while all West Islip wins coming by way of regulation. Not sure if that's, I believe that is a separator. Tiebreaker, if you will. 6 points back of a playoff spot are Smithtown Hauppauge JV Blue, and they really would need to start stringing together some wins if they want to keep those playoff hopes alive. As Coletti spun one in the skates of DeAndrea. Coletti back on it. Flipped out of the zone. Catazone regrouping. Tapped on by Becker. Brisgent. From out behind his net to the line, or it's poked away by Matuza, and here comes Matuza, not so fast. Offside are the Friars. .4:27 left here in the first. So I talked about the All-Star game at the top, but also give a mention to our social at LI Sports Network. Tons of great stuff on there. If you're not following already, be sure to do so. Last night's best. Tons of photos and extra content to be had as Matuza broke his way through, and now the glove of Miller is off. Not sure if he was shaken up there. Looks like he's just fine. Smithtown Hauppauge have had 3 goaltenders make starts for them tonight, throughout the season. They don't have any of them in attendance here tonight. God forbid something happened to Evan Miller, but he looks to be just fine. Those goaltenders being Fusco, the other Vachula. Vaith holds in near point. Matuza battling Arnold. Morabito sends around. Cycle continues here for the Friars. Gasparik Fires around the boards. In behind was Matuza. Matuza trying to jam it home, and a save made, hugging the post by Evan Miller. 3:38 left here in period number 1. Face off to the left of Miller. Won by Smithtown Hauppauge. In their defensive zone. Try to clear it near side. Run into trouble in terms of Matuza and Morabito. It is Matuza. Got a bank 1-2. Gasparic. Gasparic spinning away. Gasparic on the backhand. Good stick check from Arnold, but buried off the ricochet. 4-0 Friars. Great individual effort from Griffin Gasparic. And ultimately fired into the back of the net by Matuza. It's a hat trick for Jason Matuza, as the St. Anthony lead climbs to 4. Gasparic with the outstanding assist. Engelhardt drops for Coletti. Coletti along the ice, hoping for a deflection, nearly got one. Right back out in front. Hurlbert spun it just wide. Light lost the handle. It's Hurlbert. Coletti, long wrist shot. Blocker save made by Miller. And the Bulls escape the zone by virtue of Ryan Light. Kozak intercepted by Coletti, taken back by Kozak. Or pardon me, that's Pajak. Catazone for Hurlbert. Jack Hurlbert. Watched by Prizgen. Spins away from the Bull defender, rolls right back and around for Engelhardt. Stopped by Miller. Coletti holds in far point. Swept it down the boards. Light fighting off a check from Schechter. Schechter giving Light a check in response, and they're going to get the retaliatory check. Light's check clean. And Light sharing some words with Schechter. Frustratedly going to the box and giving the door an extra whack. Maybe that'll give the Bulls a spark here. They get the power play. Quick shot right off the draw win. A save made Frankaitis. Puck pinned against the near boards. Kozak, Light, Campese up front. Rao and Arnold on the back end, the power play unit for Smithtown Hauppauge, as the Friars quickly clear. And it's Liam Becker absorbing the hit, nearly setting up the Andrea shorthanded. Gasparic had it knifed away, and comes Rao. Rao trying to lead Campese, just skittered over his stick. He goes hard into the boards, and all the way out of the zone it goes. No icing, of course, as the Friars shorthanded. Ripped around by Rao, picked up by Campese. Played by Light. Away from Light, though, rolls Becker. Becker on back to Gasparic. Light takes it away for Smithtown Hauppauge, but under a minute left on the power play for the Bulls. Generated a shot right off the draw, not much else after. Veith knocked off the puck by Rao. Down goes the mouthpiece as Ferrara sends in for St. A's. Question was brought up by our very own Brady Campbell in the group chat of whether it's St. Anthony or St. Anthony's. I've just been calling them St. Anthony's for a while. Ferraro dices through and shot it just wide. Went hard into the boards. Check from behind legally by Ferrara. As we come to a close of period number 1, a period dominated by the black and yellow. St. Anthony lead it 4-0. So you're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. Ryan Brannigan, Wally Mitchell will be back in just a moment with the second period. As the teams break from their benches, second period set to begin. Smithtown Hauppauge hoping to get a fresh start as they currently trail 4-0. 15 seconds left on the power play carryover. Not sure what they'll be able to do with it. A face-off win and quick zone entry, though, can go a long way. However, they do not get the face-off win, and instead it's Catazone. They do get a zone entry of sorts, but Catazone flings it right back down ice. Miller stops it, goes into the corner, and flings it around for Gavin Pajak. Pajak spears it ahead, knocked down with a high stick by Anthony Catazone. And so the face-off deep in the Friars zone, but it'll be 5-a-side. As again, I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League here on LI Sports Network. Be sure to hit subscribe as we climb our way closer and closer to 12K. Yeah, 1,200 of you. Thank you for the support you give us, and we hope you enjoy the product we supply to you. Product on the ice, though, got to credit mostly that. There's a pass that springs forward. Benstock had a spin to get it, and then it allowed Schechter enough time to come back and disrupt the rush up ice and potential breakaway for Matthew Benstock. Away comes St. A's. Hurlbert try to get Schechter out in front, hit a skate, and is collected by Howard. Howard goes dangerously through the middle, but right onto the stick of Benstock. He'll take it. Coletti went down on his own accord. Benstock had to get separated from the puck. Good play by DeAndrea, and that springs forward. Ferrara knocked down to the ice by Prizgin. And Sean Prizgin the second carries over the red line, over the blue line. Prizgin check from behind, fights off said check, but ultimately shoveled forward, carried in, shot, and a great recovery by Rao, though they might call that a penalty on the scoring chance for Liam Becker. And could it be a penalty shot, Wally? I'd say that was a clear and distinct breakaway. Give the people what they want. They don't. Yeah, don't listen to me very often. Matter of fact, I'd go as far as to say I have exactly zero say of what goes on the ice. It is a power play nonetheless for St. Anthony. Long shot from Gasparik, whistles wide, and Ventura fires it up the far boards, but squeezing against said boards was Leighton Vaith held in for the moment. Gasparic as the Friars regroup. Leighton Vaith. Stick handling, drops it Ferrara. Wrist shot denied by Miller and cleared all the way out by Smithtown Hauppauge. Frankaitis to stop it. Had Ventura barreling down on Gasparic. Gasparic sweeps it across, too far for Becker. Becker in behind to Leighton Vaith. Gasparic holds, shoots wide of the net. Picked up from in behind by Becker. Becker lost it to Light. And away comes Ryan Light. And a stoppage. .50 seconds left on the power play. 12-12 left in the game, and we're getting another power play, another penalty. It's 2 penalties, actually. Get caught on them when they are. Rao, by the way, off for a slash. And he'll be joined in the box by Ryan Light. As well as a penalty to Liam Becker for hooking. Hooking for Becker, holding for Light. We stay 5-on-4. The offsetting penalties. Because they were different penalties, I honestly thought we would see a 4-on-3. But we do not. And instead it's Catazone. Through to Matuza, drags Matuza, stabbed away by the stick of Evan Miller. Taken back by Matuza and sent down the length of the ice by Ferraro of Smithtown Hauppauge. Catazone regrouping in behind his net. Frankaitis waving the arms as Benstock stares at him. Engelhart, rink wide pass to Matuza, drop back for, rather that's Muller, not Engelhart, 97, not 87, as Rao made his way out of the box, and the power play for the Friars has expired. Much like the majority, or half maybe, of the food in the back of my fridge expired indeed. This is where I say it's not my fridge, it's technically my mom's fridge, so can't blame me. Hopefully she's not listening. It's also not true. It's only a few things. Just cleaned it out. Ventura, they score! Ferraro! On the great feed from Ventura. 4-1. It's the first goal Smithtown Hauppauge freshman blue have scored against this St. Anthony JV Gold squad, and what a beauty it was. On and off the stick as soon as, or in a flash of light. John Ferraro, as he scores goal numero 4. It's 4. What is it in Italian? Didn't take Italian. Here is a shot and post and in. Hurlburt, the quick response. It's 5-1 Friars. Schechter establishing the zone. Setting up Hurlburt, and Jack makes no mistake. Post and in, blocker side on Miller. And any thoughts of a Smithtown Hauppauge comeback have been extinguished. Hurlburt right back on his horse into the zone, trying to set up Engelhart just off the end of the stick. Arnold in behind, 10:04 left, second period. Once again, the Friars lead by 4. Vaith. Deking at the line. Blocker save made Miller. Rebound off the lively Karam. Steered away by the Bulls defense. Not quite out. Schechter muscles it into the far corner where the forecheck can continue. However, the stretch pass for Campisi misfires. And despite the fact he'd get there first, Suffolk County High School hockey rules indicate an icing against the Bulls. Quattro 4, Cinco 5. Most I'd say know that one. In German, Fünf is 4, and Vier is 5. Actually, might have that backwards. Gonna work on the German. And it's right off the helmet of Benstock. Able to show off some resiliency. Collects the puck, sends it up ice despite getting drilled in the noggin. Speeding into the neutral ice, carrying it over the line is Liam Becker. Becker try to get to DeAndrea. Ferraro also on the forecheck. And Rao. Looking for Kozak, taken away by Catazone. Catazone drops for Becker. Becker the drive off the post. Right back into the near side. Two-a-side battle. And Sean Prizgent, the second, comes out of it with the puck. Gets it on the stick of Ferraro. 4-on-2 into the zone. The Bulls are in the shot. Glove save made by Frankaitis. And Peter will hang on to it. Jack Hurlburt, I mentioned the most recent goal scorer, number 9 on the season. Lone assist to Schechter. Keeping in and long wrister denied by Frankaitis, taken by Pajak. Puck rolls into neutral ice, stabbed at by Arnold. Recouped by Gasparic, who rolls in. Griffin Gasparic trying to outmaneuver Pajak. Arnold back to the blue line, held in by Muller. Back to Gasparic and chipped out of the zone by a group of Bulls. Right back come the Friars with Matuza, right wing side. Matuza trying to get around Pajak. Pajak got the better of him that time. And Light skated it out, took a check from Vaith, and now the Friars look to restart things in their own end. Not across from Muller. Muller carries in behind. Muller try to go back to the blue line, and all the way out she comes. Oh, miscommunication between Vaith and Frankaitis on the handoff. Would have been a fumble if we were playing football, but nevertheless, it's Matuza. What a terrifying thought, football on skates. Also, here's Ventura over the net on the breakaway off the bench. That period of long change will get you sometimes. Right back out in front and just by the stick of Kozak. Vaith, 3 aside over the blue. Wrist shot, blocker save made by Miller. Made sure it got into the corner. Engelhardt, though, right on it for the Friars and out in front off the stick of Schechter and wide. Engelhardt, another try. Backhand shot denied by the blocker of Miller. Gattuso. Near point, shot goes wide. Matuza collects far boards. Try to feather one through to Hurlburt, and it got through to Miller, who seals it up for the cover and hold. 6:12 left here in the second. It's the Friars by 5 over the Smithtown JV Blue Bulls. St. Anthony JV Gold for the record as well. Ensuing drop of the puck controlled by St. A's. Letting it fly, Coletti. And a pad save made by Miller. trying to quickly generate another break potentially for Ventura, but Friars wisened up to the idea, shut that breakout opportunity right down. Coletti up the near boards, taken by Rao. Rao, wrist shot. Went wide. Engelhardt will pick it up off the ricochet on the other side of the boards. Howard plugs it right back in, but Bulls must touch up. And it gives the Friars enough time to redirect back into their own end, their own offensive end. Loose puck, and the cycle continues for St. A's. Right back in. And St. Anthony JV Gold. Coletti shot blocked. Took a 3-0 loss to the, well, you call it sister team, brother team of Smithtown Hauppauge, JV Red. They defeated JV Gold as Evan Miller looked like he was going to hold on to the puck, decided to play it with 4:38 and counting left here in this second period. That will not have enough for icing. Gasparic will play it from in behind his net with Jarrett on the forecheck. Finds DeAndrea. DeAndrea's pass misfires, and that will be icing against the Friars, the Golden Friars, if you will. Largest margins of victory this year for St. Anthony, a 15-2 mollywhopping of Ward Melville back on October the 10th, an 8-0 shutout victory against Connecticut Sayville on November the 9th. Those are their largest margins of victory in the season, as Prizden lets one fly over the net. Good keep. Here's Light. Light. Good pass. Shot from Jarrett. Shut down by the glove of Frankaitis. They'll play against Northport Huntington's JV team. As I mentioned it, that'll be in 2026 on January the 14th. As for Smithtown Hauppauge, they avoid a second consecutive shutout to their same opponent, but goal scoring remaining an issue for the Bulls as that chance for the Friars goes wide. Gasparic. Shot from Becker goes wide. And Prizden hauls the puck up ice. Survives the stick check. Prizden left it for Jarrett. Dragged and fanned on the shot. Becker banks ahead of Gasparic. Has DeAndrea streaking to the net. Gasparic takes it himself and fires it off the blocker of Miller. DeAndrea with his glove raised like, I'm here, you know. Anyway, here's Vaith. Far circle, wrist shot. Shut down by the blocker of Miller. Might have even caught the stick. Matuza keeps the cycle going. Around the board she goes. Good stick positioning by Prizden, but puck taken right back by Gasparic. And fake slapper down ice from Light buys himself enough time, but the pass misfires, deflected by Morabito onto the stick of Gasparic. However, Friars offside. And the Bulls, they've been keeping them close on this 3-game losing streak. Lost by 3 to KPC, 4 to EI, 2 to WI, West Islip, East Islip, respectively. Trying to keep this one tight as well with the Friars. Evan Miller doing his best recently. Spinning himself down was Matuza, picked up by Morabito. Morabito shifts it around. Bulls escape the zone by way of Campisi. Kozak trying to get the forecheck going. Comes on back to Howard. Howard banks ahead. Cat a zone there. Loose puck. Chip back into the zone by Smithtown. Hauppauge. Coletti skates up ice. Coletti. Now Matuza. Campese gave it right back to Jason Matuza, who walks and try to go between the legs, and now try to go back door. And neither attempt worked how Matuza wanted, as Campese taken off the puck by a good Fryer back check. That allows Matuza to walk in once more. Matuza to the backhand, Matuza to the forehand. Good stick check from Rao. Howard off the boards, held in by Catazone. As Matuza wraps for Muller. Muller gets away from Rao for the moment. Muller's backhand shot blocked by Rao. Minute 15 to go here in the second period. 5-1 Friars. That shot also ricochets. Comes right back out in front, and burying it home is Muller. So another look at it is getting the finish out in front, number 97, Nick Muller. As the Friars extend the lead to 5. Muller from Englehart. And for Nick Muller, that is goal number 4 of the year. Brings his point total to 8. Back in the zone come the Friars, looking for more in the final moments of period number 2. Just 33 seconds left. And Smithtown Hauppauge, no real momentum of any sort. Ice the puck. Muller has an assist as well, so it's point number 9 of the season for Muller in the multi-point effort. Face off to the left of Miller. One back by the Friars. Gasparik's shot redirected wide by Hurlburt. And taken down by a divot in the ice was Englehart. Taken down by Gasparik was Benstock in legal fashion. Good clean open ice hit as Englehart goes to work on Pridgeon in the corner. Wrapped out in front, and a buzzer beater wouldn't go for the Friars. Not that they needed it. Leading by 5. Going into the final 15 minutes of regulation time. You're listening to the Suffolk County High School Hockey League on LI Sports Network. We'll be back for the conclusion. Third period. She's on her way on LISN. Welcome back. Rinks and Hauppauge, LI Sports Network. Bulls and Friars, and it is the Bulls trailing the St. Anthony Friars. Whoa, 6-1. Heading into this third period. game that has been in control by St. Anthony throughout, as they popped out to the 4-0 lead. John Ferraro made it 4-1 in that second period for Jack Hurlburt from Schechter and Muller from Engelhardt. Gave the Friars the 6-1 lead. Here's Cooper Ferrara, hits the brakes, wrist shot from the near circle, blocked by Howard. Howard slow to get up, does as Kozak takes the puck away. Not able to generate a rush the other way, however. A good recovery made by Catazone and company. Catazone has it here. Catazone opened the scoring back in period number 1 with the unassisted marker. And the goal for Catazone was his 7th. As icing is called against St. A's. 14:04 left here in regulation time, so 56 seconds. They have escaped the third. They escaped. Where'd they go? I don't know. Puck in the air, back down. Prizgent, far point. Rister deflects wide. And pouncing on the loose puck, Frank Katis. At least I assume so, as it appears there is a number 30 on the bench, which would indicate to me that that is Gaetano Cecchino. Cecchino, starting 6 games, has allowed just 7 goals on the year. Cecchino. Frank Katis, 6. This is his 7th start. Almost said the thing. Maybe I even did say that. 3.36 goals against average for Frank Katis. That number on pace to decline as save made by Miller. Continues to battle in this game. Matuza with a hat trick, looking for more. Held in at the line by Vaith. Vaith checked by Light, and Leighton Vaith goes out of the zone and across to Gasparic. Banked ahead to Ventura. Ventura to Light. Ventura set up the only goal of the game. Beautiful pass to Ferraro for Smithtown Hauppauge as Leighton Vaith puts the wheels on. Speeds out of the zone into the O-zone. Goes Vaith. Vaith with converging bulls, taking the puck away. St. Anthony will have to start again, and a good breakout pass from Morabito to Matuza. Matuza to Vaith. Vaith, the little flipperooski into the back of the net. That was pretty. Morabito to Matuza to Leighton Vaith. 7-1 St. Anthony. And watch it. Got him on the change. Snuck it right underneath that glove and above the pad as Ferraro looking for some kind of a response here for Smithtown Hauppauge. They've allowed 3 consecutive. Engelhardt trying to do the opposite. And maybe the Friars want to get out of here sooner. Initiate that running clock. Not sure. Or just want to pad some stats. Continue playing good hockey. Either way, they're rolling. Schechter. Centering ice feed. In the feet of Ferraro. Gets it out to Campese. Campese. Lost it to Catazone. Goes across to Coletti. Coletti. Perfect connection to Engelhardt. But Engelhardt couldn't quite cleanly receive it. Only able to deflect it ahead, and Finn Howard won the foot race. And Howard off the boards out of the zone. Sent back in by Jack Hurlburt. Catazone steps in front of Cambisi, takes the puck, and centers. What a save made by Miller on the gorgeous setup from Catazone. Watch Catazone put it on a tee. Perfectly timed pass and great anticipation displayed by Evan Miller. Keeps that puck out. Ventura trying to lead Light out of the zone. Here comes Ryan Light. Light on the backhand. Harassed from behind and taking it away. Great back check displayed by Liam Becker. And now Becker will make his way up ice. 3-on-2 over the red and blue. A low wrist shot, perhaps a pop pass, a pass off the pad. Initiated by Becker. Either way, Ferrara couldn't get a hold of it. He'll take it away from Ventura now. Coletti attempting to keep in, does, and eventually found its way over to Liam Becker. Harassed by Arnold. Near point, held in by Catazone. Bouncing puck settled once more by the Friars. However, the Bulls will break out by way of Arnold. It'll go down ice and not be an icing. Anthony Catazone around off the dasher and back down on Prancer. Ryan Light. Kozak. Denied by Frankaitis. Rebound. Light scores. Fresh off me telling one of maybe the worst jokes I've ever told. Off the dasher on Prancer. Ryan Light cleaning up in front. At least I think it was Light. Fanned on it initially, and I think he gets it with the backhand. Past a diving Frankaitis for the Bulls' second of the night. And it is Light from Kozak and Jake Ventura. So 2 points tonight for Ventura, as he involved with the primary assist on the Ferraro goal. Gets a secondary apple on the Light goal. And over the net. Muller couldn't believe he missed it. Really had nothing but net to shoot at. Either way, Vaith. Wrist shot from the near point with Morabito set up in front. Denied by Miller. And that shot Morabito got a stick on. Kicked out by Miller. Vaith surges right back in. Dropped for Matuza. Matuza to the backhand. Shut off by Sean Prizgen. Bulls trying to keep the puck in the zone. However, it does come out. Schechter. That's Ryan. Backhand shot stopped by Miller, who covers. And Schechter had that little tiff back in the first period, where he took that penalty. Hasn't seemed to bother him since. Scoreboard, I'm sure, helps, as well as getting on the board himself by way of assist. Matuza up to 4 goals tonight. Must have missed that. What a move to set up in front. Schechter by Engelhardt, but unable to get a clean stick of wood on it was Ryan Schechter. Backhanded Catazone Schechter. Cross. It's Hurlbert. His slot directed pass intercepted by Light. And the most recent Bulls goal scorer knocked off the puck by Catazone. DeAndrea. For Hurlbert, return to DeAndrea. Back to Coletti, shot along the ice and wide. Catazone lets one rip. And a save made by Evan Miller. 7:33 left here in the third period. Again, a reminder, the All-Star game coming up. JV All-Star game going to be taking place in a little over a week, I think. Double check it. Believe I'll be on the call. It'll be going down on the South Rink, if I am not mistaken. Ventura takes it away. Ventura works his way up ice, tries to dangle around Faith, and great positioning by the Friars defender. Ferrara try to sweep it into the zone. Parisian in the way. Ferrara tracks back to it. Cooper Ferrara can't get a touch, and once again, here comes Ventura trying to chip it ahead to himself, but Gasparic and the speed he has, able to get back, but good play by Ventura, forced the turnover, return to the net, and just able to be stabbed away from him by Frank Cadis. Had a great job staying with it there for the Bulls. Forward is toe drag, shot, Becker denied by Miller. As Liam Becker, not sure if that was a malicious or kidding around smack of the back of the head of Matthew Benstock. No penalty comes of it. They were sharing some words on their way, or Benstock was on the way to the bench. Bulls break out, thwarted at the line, offside called. With 6:30 left here in the third period. Again, I want to remind you, check us out on social media at LI Sports Network. Tons of great stuff happening on there. Last night's best coverage from all the leagues we cover, especially the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. Statistics, graphics, live updates on our stories. That's one of my new favorite things. Shout out Gabe to Curry. He and Kevin Broderick going to draft one of those varsity teams. And I'm a little bit nervous. Gabe, with all the highlights he posts, he's privy to some of the best that varsity has to offer, as well as really all the Suffolk County High School Hockey League teams. Got his own, activating from the point. Down below. Smooshed it around as Ferraro's passed. Taken away. Catazone. Spins it back to Morabito, and Adriana Morabito had to go by. She'll turn on the Jets to try to chase down Kozak. Kozak off the side of the net. But a good job getting back by Morabito, cutting down the angle for Kozak. He really couldn't cut across ice. And now dangerous play here for Howard. And Howard does recollect and backhand up ice. Right onto the stick of Gasparic, who collides with Kozak. Gasparic right back in. Tries to set up Matuza back door. Good play by Gavin Pajak to stay with Matuza, who's got 4 tonight. And with his 4 goals tonight, Jason Matuza has 9 goals in 8 games played. Leading the way in that department now on this St. Anthony squad. Jack Hurlbert has 8, has 1 time, so he is tied with Matuza now at the top with 9 goals. Shot from Ventura denied. Rebound Campisi just a half-second behind of getting that stick on it. Pajak slaps it up ice. Caught in the feet. Taken by Matuza. Matuza dangles. Matuza to the backhand. Checked by Pajak. Takes a shot. Sticked away by Miller. 3:47 left here in the third. Just a backhander across from Muller with one hand. Engelhardt off the side of the cage. Matuza over the stick of Engelhardt. Campese to the line, held in by Gasparic. Engelhardt going to work on Pajak. That went off of Rao and wide. And the cross ice feed. Trying to get Matuza out in front. Gasparic rolls in behind Griffin Gasparic. Hits the circles and shot it wide. Dominance here for St. Anthony. Gasparic keeps in. Vaith. Engelhardt off the stick of Miller into the far corner. Blast from Gasparic denied, and now Rao taking exception in front to Engelhardt. Fryer was down in front of the net. It's been a frustrating night for the Bulls. They trail by 6 or 5. Rao going off for, I believe, a cross check, if my referee sign language reading skills are up to par, and they are. Cross check for Rao. And so James Rao will sit. Dos minutos. Bulls benching getting a talking to. That's another good time. Well, let's plug the pod. Rinks and Realities. It's a great podcast hosted by my two friends, Paul Trentini and Travis Quigley. You can find it here and only on LI Sports Network. I believe a new episode dropped on tonight, Friday. Should be a new episode day. Produced by Wally Mitchell in part. I'll have to ask Wally at the next whistle. Is that shot blockered away? He's on the cam tonight. Big part of the behind-the-scenes crew is a shot denied by Miller. So, Wally, new podcast tonight. New podcast episode dropping tonight, Wally. No, not tonight. I misspoke. Well, my bad. Coming soon, coming soon. You could catch up on all the other episodes that have dropped on days before tonight. Blocker save made by Miller. Rebound. This was the release day. Catazone across. Wrist shot from Coletti. Blocked by Howard. They'll get it right back onto the stick of Coletti. Cross to Schechter. Schechter with Hurlburt trying to set up in front. And the Friars working it around the horn. Coletti faking, kick save, rebound, score. It's Schechter. His second point tonight. Power play marker for the Friars, as they started keeping track of the percentage of the power play, but not from the get-go of the season. So take it with a grain of salt. The St. Anthony power play 10%. That'll go up. Penalty kill for each side over 90%. Smithtown Hauppauge, that'll go down. Again, grain of salt, folks. But cool to see the percentage numbers as opposed to just power play goals per game and goals per game. Calling some New York Islanders High School Hockey League, they keep track of the shots. over there. So you get save percentages for their goalies, which I'm sure all goalie parents do that anyway. But it's cool for us announcers to have access to those numbers. You reference the shot totals. It's Evan Miller. Shots faced has to be at least in the 30s, I would imagine, tonight. With less than a minute to go in regulation time. Result of the game, not in doubt. Friars will pick up the win. Feel safe in saying that. As Evan Miller lost his stick. Puck worked in behind. 9-4 will the Friars be. As I mentioned off the top, the standings. They'll leapfrog East Islip in a 4th place. And diving on top of the puck, emphatically Miller. Miller sitting down. It's been a long night for the Smithtown Hauppauge Tendy. Goaltenders are ones to have some of the best personalities, in my humble opinion. Evan showcasing a little bit of his there. A lot of reps tonight for Miller. As Light applying the check defensively, shrugging it off as best he can. Becker looking for a call. Probably not going to see one here in the final 10 minutes with the results already determined. And Frank Kadis is trying to keep that clock rolling. 8.7 left here in the game. Quick whistle there from the official. And a chance, I guess, for Smithtown Hauppauge to get another goal up on the board. It's like they can, it'll be 2, and off the whistle, Rao challenged by Becker. DeAndrea trying to get, and now Rao getting told to go away from the official. Rao's hands in the air. I think he's saying he needs to get his stick. He's pointing to the stick. He wants the stick. Howard takes his stick. He'll get it. It's all right. James, you'll get the stick. I get it, though. And another dominant win added to the Friars win column. 9-4. They improve to 8-2 the victory. And once again, I want to thank you all so much for tuning in tonight, as the Bulls, I should mention, fall to 2-11 on the season. But yes, once again, thank you all so much for tuning in to LI Sports Network's coverage of the Suffolk County High School Hockey League. On behalf of our cameraman, Wally Mitchell, Ryan Brownigan, I'm going to quickly wrap this one up and say thank you again. And as always, till next time, have a good night. Have a very happy holiday as well to each and every one of the family members listening. And enjoy the holiday season. That'll wrap things up. Thank you once again. Good night. Have a good one.